Well, obviously, this protest has missed what should be its most important objective, which is for the labor movement to begin to demonstrate that the working class has the potential to save Nigeria and Nigerians, from this crisis that is gripping this nation. Because what has been happening for the past few weeks now is a situation where people are becoming very frustrated, at the Boko Haram insurgency, especially the adoption of the over 200 girls from Chibok, as well as the apparent helplessness of the Nigerian government and security forces. People are asking the question, what is the solution? Can we have an end to Boko Haram? Is it possible for us to get the girls back? And it has been very clear that the corrupt ruling elite ruling this country are incapable of providing answers to this question. And unfortunately, the labor movement that traditionally people should look up to be able to provide those answers is also not providing the answers that people need. Which is why I believe that today's protest has missed one of its most fundamental objectives. I believe that the working class is the only force that can liberate society from this quagmire. And the Nigerian working class has demonstrated over the decades that it has the ability to defend Nigerians from the onslaught of liberal policies. But the reality is that we want the girls to come back, we want the girls to be saved, we want them to be freed, we want them to be rescued. But there's also the question of how do we end Boko Haram insurgency completely? We want to ensure that after we get the girls back, we don't have a situation where more girls or the rest of our people will continue to be in danger of this insurgency, of a bomb blast, as well as this senseless killing. And for us to be able to have that kind of situation, it means that we need to also ask the question, what has led to the Boko Haram insurgency in the first place? I think that question is what the ruling elite are trying to cover up at the moment. Because the reality is that it is a policy, the neoliberal capitalist policy of the government that has led to a situation where Boko Haram insurgency has emerged. It's a situation of hopelessness and frustration of mass majority of youth who are jobless that has created this condition for Boko Haram. And for us to be able to resolve that condition, it means that we need a socialist revolution to be able to restructure Nigeria to benefit the mass majority of people.
The demand for the rescue of the abducted children who are students of Chibok Secondary School in Borno State. Late on Sunday evening, we mobilized every JAM members to join forces with the various branches of the Grand River Congress and the Trade Union Congress for that rally. We were surprised to discover that there are other people for different interests who are the rally. And what we choose to do at Joint Action Front was to address the workers in particular, who said the terminal point of the rally was the government house. And since we don't have any duty, any responsibilities at that place, we felt we should talk to the workers what the focus of the rally is now should be. For For JAF, we are clear on this issue. Yes, everybody is now doing rally, and the OT is almost now giving the impression of an serious affair. There is a need to do a rally to put pressures on the government. First, that what is happening today in terms of insecurity of our country is the responsibility likely fall on the shoulders of the government. Operating economic policies that make government irresponsible to the citizen in terms of social welfare and the aspirations of the people.
Now let me take you on that, comrade. The federal government has actually resorted to getting foreign aids as far as the rescue is concerned. What are the political implications of this?
No, beyond the political implication, it has implications for our existence as a sovereign nation itself. We feel rescuing the guests is still not beyond the military. More so, there is a unity of effort between the military and Nigerian people. We must also understand that even in Borno State in particular, there have been occasions due to the failures of governments addressing this issue. Self-defense committee that are largely responsible to what they call the civilian GTF. So that's to show a demonstration by the people themselves that they could take on these issues headlong. So, but most importantly, is that you have a clear destabilization agenda, you see, of the foreign interest. Because the Boko Haram not just arose in a day. Why we agreed that it was creations of the ruling class of exploiters in our country, the irresponsibility of the government, its failure, you see, to construct a state that will be responsible to the people. We also discovered that over time, the Boko Haram has also been infiltrated to serve the foreign interest, because critical question must be asked. The Boko Haram are supposed to be made largely of uninformed, illiterate, ragtag set of people. How come the sophistications? But when you look at the degree of armory, the degree of communication gadgets, and the degree of recruitment and deployment of forces for which the Boko Haram has been known, and even the executions, you see the sophistication of the execution, it shows clearly that they are open to certain intelligent materials, open to high degree of sophistications. And if you look at all the weaponry that are in use, I'm not sure there's any place in Africa that today is into what you can call military industrial complexes in terms of armed productions. You see armed proliferations, which UK, the United States of Americans, and the other Western nations in Europe are noted for. So largely, how did they get these arms? You see, and these marks of destabilization that are going on across the world, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, in Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, you see, are now the doorstep of Nigeria. Much as we know that yes, it requires some military expert to intervene at that level. That should largely just have been an internal affair of the military in terms of what the military needs to fight its battle, the same way that military has sought for military training elsewhere. So, but it should not now open our countries to influx of foreign interests. What they are doing now is an extension of the economic conquer of the territory. So for us, we are opposed to military interventions in this matter. I will feel that the Nigerian state should be held accountable and must do all within its power for the rescue of the children that are immediately affected. But beyond that, the insecurity continues, because it's not just about rescuing those ladies. In what way is government responsible? And that is why I feel the focus of this protest, the angers of Nigerians now, should be channeled properly. You see, yes, a protest is required, but what protest? Because some of those who are protesting now, what is the attitude? The government that is not responsible to the education of the citizen. What is the attitude? The government that is not responsible to creating an environment whereby many of our youth are productively engaged. An environment of job and economic opportunity for majority of Nigerians who are presently unemployed, who are presently reduced to be mercenaries, who are presently being reduced to criminality. So those are the critical challenges. So our focus of protest must be against this very system that has made the Boko Haram possible, against this very system that has created suicide bombing, against this very system that has created all sorts of destructive militancy that we have across the country. So the challenge, you see, for all those protests to understand, it's not the rescue of those ladies, of the girls that are that important alone, but the continued survival of us as a people whose interests, whose needs must be the primary responsibility of the government. And what has shown clearly the failure of government, the failure of the state, and the failure of the capitalist system on the basis of which the current regime is anchored. And that is why you find the so-called World Economic Summit, you see, taking place as at the same time that we are in agony. You see, and what you see is a gang up of the world powers again on how to further entrench, you see, capitalist, anti-workers, anti-working people's policy in Nigeria. That's essentially what they are going to do. So and Nigerians must see beyond that line. And that's why we are not in any way surprised or disappointed by what happens today. That when you have a situation of national agony, what you see the ruling class doing is playing music, you see, over it. You see dancing over it, as exhibited by the president. So what you have seen the Lagos APC coming to do here today is essentially in that light, to give the impression that they are concerned. There's nothing suggestive of what happens there when people are more concerned about a pay, a rent-a-crowd protest. Who least understand what is happening? It's like there's an empty now. Let's all become part of what is happening. So what is happening to our country is much more than that now. And that is why JAF is saying Nigeria must rise to denounce imperialist interests in Nigeria. We must show that we have a responsibility to our people. And that is what JAF is saying, that Nigerian people, our rise must be against this capitalist interest, this ruling class of exploiters' interest. Our interest is how we have a government that must serve the interests of the people. And that requires a change of this rotten capitalist regime that we are operating.
Thank you very much.